Welcome or welcome back if you have never been here before. It is day 2 of me doing HALLOWEEK. I am going to be attempting skull makeup, and I do have a little spooky story time for you guys in this video. Actually never done skull makeup. I don't know how in all the years of me doing makeup, I've never just tried it. If you hear little meows in the background, it's because we got a new kitten and I haven't really introduced him to the channel yet. You guys have seen him, I think, twice, like in the background and stuff. But this is Casper. He's about 4 months old. We got him a little over a week ago. He's a little tuxedo kitty. He is the biggest freaking baby. He is so needy. He's the new and last addition to the family. 4 is the limit. There is the most randomly intense fog rolling in right now, and it came out of nowhere within like 5 minutes. But it's a perfect setting for this video. I just did an Instacart from Sephora. I have a bunch of black eyeliners and stuff that I think I could get to work, but there is this one specific product that I've seen a lot of people use to do this skull-like makeup. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills waterproof cream color, and I think this is a eyeliner. I don't have any makeup on at the moment. I just did my skincare a little while ago. I'm not going in with like a lighter base. I know a lot of people do like white underneath, but I feel like it's just gonna mix with the black and there's gonna be a bigger mess. I feel like it's gonna look perfectly fine if I just do it on my normal skin color. I'm just gonna take a little bit of the Glossier concealer and just stipple that. Oh wait. Tatcha the liquid silk canvas. It's just one of those primers that's kind of like silicone-y and it makes everything go on a little bit smoother. Now I'm just putting concealer on some of my scarring. I'm first gonna kind of sketch out where I want everything to go with just a brown pencil. This is the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil. This is what we got going on so far. I'm just showing everything, so if you guys do want to use this kind of as a tutorial to do this for Halloween. For the nose, it's basically just 2 triangles together, leaving a line in the middle. My pores are going to be screaming at me. I'm gonna leave the mouth for when we actually start to do the black. This is the start with our brown liner. I'm gonna be giving you guys a little bit of a story time. I slightly mentioned it in another video, and it's basically a series of, I would say, demonic dreams for the first 10-13 years of my life. It's one of those things that still gives me like shivers. It creeps me out and makes me like uneasy. Low-key why I haven't made a story time or anything about it, because I don't really like giving attention to stuff like that, because I do believe if you kind of give attention into stuff like that, you're gonna open some doors and invite some stuff into your life that I personally don't really want. But I am gonna tell you, it is spooky season and I have Jesus Christ in my life, so nothing can happen to me. I moved around quite a bit when I was little, maybe 5-ish times or something like that, and each one of these dreams happened when I moved into a new house apartment. When I was like 1-2 years old, I was very back and forth between both of my grandparents' houses because my parents did have me as teenagers. My mom told me I was a weird child. I just said things that were really, really odd. Just to tell you a few of those really quick, because it kind of goes in with this story. I would just say like the weirdest things that were just really eerie and creepy. I was pretty young at this time, 2 or 3 or something like that. I don't remember this story. This is just word of mouth from my family and my mom telling me that this happened. My grandma's mom passed away a little before I was born, and I had a little dolly. Of course, there's always a doll in these stories, right?
And you were over by the kitchen and grandma said, "Oh, well, what are you gonna name your baby?"
And I named her after my grandma's mom. What was the name again?
June.
June.
And you said June, just very matter of fact. And grandma was just like completely floored. She couldn't believe it. Not a normal name for a 2.5-year-old. We didn't say her name. They always called her grandma.
And I want to stress the reason why this is so creepy. No one said her name. Like, I wouldn't have heard her name anywhere. And it's just really weird. weird. Next story also involves my grandma, and I actually remember this one. I was in my grandma's room. I was very, very young at the time. I was probably still around 3 or 4 years old. My grandma was not in the room in the moment. She had walked out. I had this like strong feeling to go behind the side table next to the bed, and I look behind it and there is a little picture there. I grab the picture and my grandma walks back in the room and I hand it to her and I tell her she misses you very much. The picture was of her mom. Like I said, I remember this happening. I remember the picture. I remember having the strong feeling. I don't know why I did this. I don't remember like the thoughts that I had. I remember having like a strong feeling, but I was like 3. You remember like bits and pieces. Next story actually is something that happened between me and my mom when I was little. I think I'm gonna call my mom really quick to hear her tell the story. Yay, you're home. I wanted you to kind of tell the story, the weird thing I said to you when we were reading the Bible.
Ugh. We were laying in your bed and we were doing devotions before you went to sleep and reading your little princess Bible. We finished reading the story about the woman with the sick daughter. Jesus healed her, and you just very matter of fact. I mean, there was no like question about it. You know, someday I'm gonna die. And I said, yeah, I know, but that won't be for a long time. And it's weird because I think back about it now and all the like gentle parenting and things that are out there now, but I didn't approach it probably the best because I see parents all the time like, what do you think about that? And that's not what I said.
Well, whenever I bring you guys up too, I do mention that you guys were teenage parents. I mean, you guys didn't really know what you were doing.
I think everybody already knows that.
Yeah.
I mean, I look amazing. Just kidding.
Yes.
Yeah, you just very matter-of-factly said, you know, someday I'm gonna die. And I said, I know, that's true, but that's not for a long time. And we don't really have to think about that. And you just continued on and said, well, I have to. And you're gonna die someday. This is not our home. We have to go home. We don't stay here. This is not our real home. They talk about that all the time, right? Going to meet the Lord when we die, we're going to go to heaven. So yeah, that concept is talked about frequently. There were things that happened with you that you said that were very bizarre, and seeing the dark shadows outside of the window here, you were definitely at that time only about 2 years old, maybe.
I slightly remember that.
I remember it vividly because we all had the stomach flu.
Oh.
And you were taking a nap down.
We don't say that word.
We had the sickness.
The sickness that shall not be named. That's what we're gonna... Yeah. Next story takes place at my dad's parents' house because we went back and forth all the time. I was about 2 at this age. I do have the memory of this still. What I remember is seeing a shadow outside the window. And this is gonna have to deal with all the dreams that I'm going to say because pretty much everything has to do with seeing weird shadow demon-y figures. I think this was the very like first time that it happened. I want to kind of explain like there's a lot more other dreams that like I don't remember, but it was a very consistent like having nightmares more often, and I would just have really weird things. I would see things and you know.
We put you down for your afternoon nap and we went upstairs, so we were in the living room. All of a sudden we just heard you screaming. I came running downstairs. You were standing up in your crib and you were white knuckled holding onto your crib, and you were screaming and crying that you saw something out the window. You were traumatized and we didn't know. It was like afternoon, it wasn't dark. My brain always wants to be logical.
If there was someone in the backyard, like if I saw a person outside that I didn't know.
Remember we talked about that. The way that the windows were set up at that time is grandma had curtains on them.
Well, she had the little baby curtains,
she
right?
Had the small valances.
I remember that being in my memory.
You saw the shadow above the valance. The person would have to be 8 feet tall.
Oh my gosh, mommy, stop.
You want to tell her you don't.
Okay, I'm literally gonna start crying. You know I don't like these dreams. The creepy thing, and I'm going to explain it when I explain the dreams, is that the shadow figure, literally, it's far away, but it's like 8 feet tall. Is there any possible chance I could have fallen asleep?
You definitely were asleep.
What if it was a dream and I just didn't understand?
It's possible.
Being a 2-year-old, you might not understand like that it was a dream.
Remember, I told you, and I know I was little, but I used to sleep in my grandma's bed when I spent the night there, and I remember waking up in the middle of the night and that lumberjack man was standing on the side of the bed looking down at me, and I can vividly still see him with his red beard, plaid shirt, suspenders, and jeans, and I think he had a baseball cap on, and he was standing on the side of the bed looking over at me, and I've never forgotten. My therapist would have said, you know, we don't hold on to dreams that long.
Unless they're real,
that's
but
not true for someone like my brain.
Same. You know I have so many dreams, like the one where daddy was in like the front yard.
Can't say that on YouTube, but sure.
Sure. Now we're at my mom's house, grandma's house. I'm in my crib. I was the same age, about 2. I did not see a shadow. I don't remember seeing a shadow at all. But I remember feeling like a petrifying fear instantly like fill my body. I knew something bad was gonna happen, but I didn't know what was gonna happen. I'm like leaning over the railing, like scared, and the bottom of my crib just completely falls out from under. I knew in my head that something made it fall instantly. Even just being that young, I knew it didn't just like, oh, it wasn't put together well, or it just like stuff happens. It was an accident. Like I knew something made it fall. I'm like sitting there and I'm like screaming. She had a friend over and they came like downstairs. That's that story. A round of applause for our special guest, my mommy. Now that you have a little bit of the background, I had some weird moments when I was little. I feel like it kind of foreshadowed having these dreams. I was 4 or 5 years old, and this is when we moved into the second apartment that I have like most of my beginning childhood memories of. I have this big window in my bedroom, and when I sit up in my bed, I can see out my window. I wake up in the middle of the night. I sit up in my bed and I look outside my window. I see this very tall, basically like a shadow that you can't like see through, all the way down on the sidewalk, like across the street. Mind you, we're 4-ish stories up, but you can just tell that this like thing is very tall. It's just walking and then it stops and it looks over at me. I don't even know how to explain the fear that I felt. And then I wake up and I remember I did run to my mom with this one because this one really was scary. I had quite a few dreams exactly like that at that same apartment. Same exact thing. I would wake up in the middle of the night, I would look out my window, and the tall like shadow man figure would be standing there. But every single time I had the dream, it was getting closer and closer and closer. This was a reoccurring dream. It was like progressing. This is when my mom like starts to get more nervous because I am just having these nightmares all the time. I had one of these dreams at every single place that I would spend the night. It was always outside of a window. It was very sporadic though. It wouldn't just happen like every single time I went to sleep. When I was 9-10 years old, we moved into my mom's grandparents' house, so my great-grandparents' house. This place always had a weird feeling to me, like it wasn't my home. I remember I really missed the apartment we lived in. Even though I had all those scary dreams, I still felt more of a home. And the reason why we moved here was my mom's grandma had passed away and my mom's grandpa was dealing with dementia and stuff, so he was put in an elderly home. So the house was just sitting there. One thing that I did like about the house though was there was bars on the window. I don't know why my child brain loved this so much. It like weirdly made me feel extremely safe. In this room, the head of my bed was on a wall, and when I was laying down in my bed, the wall in front of me had a window that pretty much took up the whole entire half part of the wall. So if I'm laying in bed and I open up my eyes and I'm looking forward, there's just a gigantuous window right there, which is really great for me. A little after we moved in, right on schedule, I wake up in the middle of the night, I look at the window, and this is the closest the black figure has ever been. Now I just want to say the black figure has never come inside, always been outside the window. But I've always been terrified that it's going to come inside. The black shadow figure has its hands gripping the bars on the window, literally like zooming in on the shadow figure, like shaking. I swear on my bed it felt like it was shaking like an earthquake, and the shadow figure was screaming bloody murder, and it was just zooming in. Oh my god, what was that? Zooming in, and then boom, went all white. While I was having this dream, I knew what it meant. Nothing was being said, but I knew what everything meant and symbolized. Like, I knew that it was over. He couldn't get me anymore, and that was the last dream you're gonna have, and I don't know why it left me alone. Like, I have no idea why. I don't know if it couldn't come in that house. I don't know if the bar symbolized something. I have no idea. If you are like a professional therapist or like analyze dreams, let a girl know. This could just all be in my head. 10+ years having really weird dreams about one specific shadow figure. I just want to say too, I never felt paralyzed or like I couldn't move in my dreams. I always moved perfectly fine. I could have like gotten up and ran out of the room, and that's just like not how it went. And I always woke up right after the shadow thing like looked at me. So I don't think it's sleep paralysis, because I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, it sounds like sleep paralysis, because a lot of people have like very demony sleep paralysis dreams. Or it could be something supernatural and that there was like a demon attached to me or something. I do not believe in ghosts. I watch ghost stuff because I find it interesting. When people do Ouija boards or they have a seance and they're trying to contact a loved one and somebody comes through and they know things that, oh my gosh, no one would ever know that is a demon. Demons have been here since they fell from heaven. They have seen everything you have done, everything your mom has done, grandma, great-grandma, great-great-great-great-great-grandma. They're gonna know about you. If someone does catch like a ghost on camera, like a shadow, or if they hear voices, and obviously if it's not fake, to me, I believe that is a demon. I always think it's incredibly interesting when I see videos of people that are communicating with their loved ones. What first comes to mind is Sam and Colby's newer Conjuring video. We're having the taps being done and they were communicating with this thing. All said that they were past loved ones, past family members of Sam and Colby and everybody there. Also, I just want to say, you can believe in whatever you want. You can believe that those are your past family members. This is just what I believe. Just want to say that first because we're getting into religion a little bit and sometimes people have a hard time talking about these things. But when you're talking about demons and stuff, and I'm a Christian, I'm gonna kind of give my opinion on what I think it is. But in this video, they asked this person what it was like where they were. And they said lots of things like love and light and all these things. Demons and the devil's mission in life is to basically try to make people be as far away from God as possible. So what are demons going to tell you and try to convince the public? Oh, there's these people, super huge platform that are filming me and I get to put a message out there? Let's contradict the Bible and contradict God. All these people are gonna see it and they're gonna be like, well, they didn't have anything in their shoes that were tapping the floor. They went on cement. This has to be real. They knew stuff about their families. It worked. The demons, they really made people believe in what they were saying in that video. Right when it started saying stuff along the lines of, oh, it's light, it's happy, instantly knew that's a demon. If there is somebody here and it's super nice and light, that means that they're probably not in heaven, and just like makes you go down a rabbit hole of like questioning the Bible and stuff, which is exactly what it wanted you to do. Anyways, that is not the end of our little story, because I did see this thing one more time, and this was not a dream, probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. I was in my old room that you guys have seen a long time ago at my parents' house. And you know, my bed is in the corner, and when I'm sitting in my bed, my door is like over here. If I remember correctly, this was like not a good time in my life, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I was sitting in bed and I was on FaceTime with someone. Glance over at my door, like, you know when you just feel like you saw something out of the corner of your eye and you just look really quick and then like blink. There was a very, very, very tall black shadow standing like halfway in my doorway. Like it was like its body was completely split in half, and it was one of those things where like you look at it and then you blink and you look away, you don't even register, and it was there, and then I blinked and it was gone. And I remember it jump scared me so bad. I sat there for a second and it was like I didn't know what to do, if I should get up. I was 100% like that was definitely my dad, and I just like saw him walk by my door really quick. I get up, I look around, my parents are not home, my grandpa is not home, nobody is home at all. I was home alone. So now I'm like freaking out. I call my dad and I'm like almost crying. I'm like, were you home? Saw a weird shadow figure in my doorway. They were like, no, we're not home yet, we'll be home soon. I went back to my bed and I was sitting there like, okay, it probably was just your eyes. And then I get a very, very, very strong smell of cigarette smoke. During this period of time, my parents were not smoking. There was no cigarettes in the house. My window was not open. No door was open. Nothing was open. It was strong. smoking. It was like I was sitting next to someone smoking, and it was in directly the corner of my room, of my bed, like right here where I was sitting. I've had some other like really intense dreams. I'm a very vivid, intense dreamer. I dream like every single night. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's supernatural? Do you think there was like a demon popping into my dreams, or who knows if it was a dream? Do you think I'm crazy? Because you can tell me if you think I'm totally crazy. But I just want you to know I would never make a video about this and make it up. I just want y'all to know that. As you can see, we are almost done, but it is not fully done yet. I'm gonna add some shading. But before that, I am gonna do my eyebrows. Gonna sleek those puppies down. Taking this cream pencil, and I'm kind of just gonna go on certain parts and highlight it. Taking my highlight, just like lighter color highlights, and applying that to the high points. Tightlining my waterline with black, so it's just really, really black and there's no skin. The lashes are obviously not going to be like that noticeable, but it still looks really cool. This is making my eyes look so insane. Oh my gosh. This turned out so good, especially for a first try. Let's take down her hair. This is the final look. Definitely giving American Horror Story. I've personally never watched that show, but I know this looks like one of the characters on there. This is a very good last minute Halloween costume if you don't want to actually like wear anything. Just have a white tank top on and a leather jacket and jeans, and this would be hot. A little oil in my hair and just like ran it through my roots so it stays back a little, and I kind of like the little hairs falling in front. Thanks for hanging out with me, doing my makeup and hearing my really weird demonic dreams as a child. If you have also had weird dreams or any experience that's even close to mine or a supernatural situation, comment them down below because I will be reading them. I love you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!